Okay, today I taught you the introduction to solving word problems. And now what I need you to do is go ahead to the back and let's go ahead and attack 5, 6, 7, and 8. With that said, here we go. The first step that I need is we need to go ahead and find the variable. The variable is the unknown. So I'm going to go ahead and underline the unknown as I read. It says, Allison is making a stained glass window. Her pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. She has 288 square inches of blue glass. If she intends to use all of her blue glass, how much glass will she need for the entire project? So there's my unknown. So I'm going to go ahead and put x equals glass for the entire project. So I know my unknown. Now if I reread, anytime I see glass for the entire project, that's where my variable is going to go into. Okay? Allison is making a stained glass window. Her pattern requires that 1/5 of the glass should be blue. So there's my 1/5. I know what 1/5 means. And oh my gosh, of the glass. Of the glass is actually what I'm looking for. Okay? She has 288 square inches of blue glass. This has to equal 288. Because that's how many blue glass I have, 1/5 of the entire glass of the project. Of always means to multiply, like I taught you in the beginning. I said anytime that you see the word of, that means to multiply. The 1/5 has to be connected to my x because here comes glass. 1/5 x. I already know and taught you how to solve this. Multiply both sides by 5. This gives me x equals, I get 288 times 5. That gives me 1,440. Well, I'm done because I found x. So that's how much she needs. Number 6. The first thing I want you to do is go ahead and find what we're looking for and attach it to a variable. Go ahead and do that first, please. So pause the video and try. The average time t, so they actually tell me what my variable needs to be. So if you put x, let's go ahead and instead of saying x, go ahead and put t equals. T, the average time t it takes to manufacture a car in the United States is 24.9 hours. This is 8.1 hours longer than the average time it takes to manufacture a car in Japan. Write an equation to find the average time in Japan. So T is going to stand for time in Japan. Anytime I see the word time in Japan, that's where my variable is going to have to be. So let me go ahead and reread the problem. The average time T it takes to manufacture a car in the United States is 24.9 hours. This is. So 24.9, this is means equals. Well, how do I know, Mr. Bourne? I taught you the word is means equals in math. And over here it says reminder, of means multiply, and words like this is means equal sign. That's the reason why I put an equals here. So 24.9 hours is, and then it says 8.1 hours longer than. Well, longer than means I'm going to add. And it doesn't matter if I put the 8.1 in front or the 8.1 behind. It does not matter where I put it. But what am I adding that to? The average time it takes to manufacture a car in Japan. Oh my gosh. That has to be my x. So I'm adding 8.1 to my x. I can go ahead and get rid of my 8.1 minus 8.1. 24.9 minus 8.1 gives me 16.8. Or t, sorry, I should have put t, not x. So how much time is it going to take in the average time in Japan? 16.8 hours. So we'll go ahead and put hours. Okay, number 7. Now that you know, go ahead and find your variable and then try to set up the problem. Find your variable, try to set up the problem this time. So let's see, a mid-sized car with a 4-cylinder engine travels 34 miles on a gallon of gas. This is 10 miles more than a luxury car with an 8-cylinder engine travels on a gallon of gas. How many miles does a luxury car travel on gas? So luxury car, how many miles does a luxury car travel on gas? So let's go ahead and say x equals, how many miles does so luxury car travels, or let's say miles traveled, something like that, miles traveled, okay, luxury car miles traveled on a gallon of gas. I could put on a gallon of gas, but this is short enough that I understand. So anytime that I see this information back when I reread, that's excuse me, where my variable goes. So a mid-sized car with a 4-cylinder. 4-cylinder is just an engine with 1, 2, 3, 4 cylinders. It's how fast a car can go. A 4-cylinder is much slower than an 8-cylinder. And the reason being is because 8-cylinder is able to pump up and down quicker and more gas is able to go through, which means more energy, but it takes a lot more gas, and that's why they're asking this question. So a mid-sized car travels 34 miles on a gallon of gas. We see the word this is again. This is means equals. This is 10 more than means to add, but we could put it to the back, but it doesn't matter when we add. 10 more than a luxury car. There's our luxury car. Travels on a gallon of gas, so there's where my x goes. So 34 equals 10 plus x, minus 10 minus 10. 24 has to be how far my luxury car travels. 24 miles. Okay. We got one last problem, number 8. Go ahead and cross off number 9 like I told you. Go ahead and read the problem and try for yourself. Set up your variable and reread and try for yourself. Pause the video and try. It says Chris has saved twice the number of quarters that Nora saved plus 6. The number of quarters Chris saved is also 5 times the difference of the number of quarters they each have saved. I am so sorry. How can I solve this problem if I did not finish the problem? Let me pause the video real quick and go ahead and find what the question is asking so we can go ahead and finish. Okay. The rest of the problem says, how many quarters does Nora have? Okay, so x is Nora's quarters. Anytime I see Nora, that means I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add x into what I read. It says Chris has saved twice the number of quarters that Nora has saved, plus 6. Twice means 2 times the number of quarters. That is my x, because that's what I connected with my x. So 2 times Nora quarters, that's my x, plus 6. The number of quarters Chris saved is also means equals, because it's the same as 5 times the difference. Difference means to subtract, but I need parentheses. Of the number of quarters they each have saved. So I know that that they each have saved. The difference of the number of quarters that they each have saved. So if I know that this is Chris, I'm going to go ahead and put 2x plus 6 minus the difference of Nora, which has to be x again. Because this is how much the difference of the number they each have saved. Yep. So this is the number of quarters in which Chris saved. This is the number of quarters in which Nora saved. So let's go ahead and look at this real quick. So I have 2x plus 6 on one side equals 5, and what I can go ahead and do on the inside is I could go ahead and do what I see. I can go ahead and take 2x minus x, which would be just x, and then I still have that plus 6. So 2x plus 6 equals, now I got to distribute, 5x plus 30. I need to get my variables to the same side. So I'm going to go ahead and take minus 2x, and actually, let's go ahead, this is a little bit too much that I want to focus on right now. Go ahead and stop where you're at here, and we're going to go ahead and hit this as a skill review. So only focus on 5, 6, and 7, and I will help you with number 8 later. And we are done with the video to save time.